Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. Today we've got a really interesting update surrounding Caitlyn Clark and her latest appearance during USA basketball media activities. If you've been following the build-up around the national team lately, you probably saw some of the photos circulating online. Clark was out there posing for Media Day in her United States women's national basketball team gear, and one detail instantly caught people's attention: the jersey number she was wearing. Right now, Caitlyn Clark is rocking number 12. And to some people, that might seem like a small thing. It might look like just a random jersey choice, something temporary for media photos or early camp activities. But if you really follow international basketball, especially when it comes to USA basketball, jersey numbers can carry a lot more meaning than fans realize. These numbers often represent legacy, continuity, and sometimes even a passing of the torch. So let's talk about why this number actually matters. If you go back and look at recent Olympic or international rosters for Team USA women's basketball, you'll notice that many players tend to keep their numbers whenever possible. It's not always guaranteed, but players definitely develop attachments to certain numbers, especially when they've worn them in previous tournaments. For example, when you look at the last Olympic roster, you had A'ja Wilson wearing number 9, Kahleah Copper wearing number 7, Jackie Young in the mix with number 12 during certain competitions, and Jewell Loyd with number 4. But here's where it gets really interesting. Historically, the number 12 for Team USA women has been strongly associated with Diana Taurasi. And if you follow women's basketball, you already know Taurasi isn't just another player. She's widely considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest player in the history of the sport. Her legacy with Team USA spans multiple Olympic gold medals and years of international dominance. So when Caitlyn Clark shows up wearing number 12 in Team USA gear, a lot of fans instantly start connecting the dots. Now, does that automatically mean Clark is officially inheriting Taurasi's number for future tournaments? Not necessarily. At this stage, things like Media Day numbers don't always lock in final roster assignments or jersey selections. But still, the symbolism here is hard to ignore. You have one generational superstar stepping into the spotlight at the same time another legend is nearing the end of her international career. And Clark wearing that number, even if it's temporary, feels like a subtle signal of where things might be heading. Now, let's look at some of the other number situations floating around right now. There are reports that Angel Reese has been seen wearing number 9 in certain USA training setups. That's notable because, again, number 9 is associated with A'ja Wilson on the international stage. Does that mean anything long-term? Probably not yet, but it shows that Team USA might still be in the process of sorting out numbers for newer players entering the system. And then there's another major name we haven't fully seen yet in terms of jersey selection: Paige Bueckers. A lot of fans assumed Bueckers might want number 12 as well. After all, she's another elite guard and one of the biggest stars coming into the national team pipeline. But if Clark is already wearing 12 in early media content, it raises the question, did Paige choose a different number intentionally? Maybe she did. And honestly, if that's the case, you could understand why. Taking over a number directly connected to Diana Taurasi comes with massive expectations. Some players embrace that kind of pressure, while others prefer to build their own identity with a different number. Either way, the jersey conversation is just one piece of a bigger picture. The real takeaway here is that Caitlyn Clark's place within the USA basketball system looks incredibly secure. When you start looking at the landscape of American point guards coming through the pipeline, there just aren't many pure floor generals at her level right now. Sure, there are talented guards entering the league every year. Players like Olivia Miles, Raven Johnson, and Kiki Rice all bring exciting skills. But when it comes to true playmaking, deep shooting range, and controlling the pace of a game, Clark is operating on a different level right now. And that's why many analysts believe she could be a long-term fixture for Team USA in international competition. It's similar to what happened with Tyrese Haliburton on the men's side. Coaches value having a true point guard who can organize an offense, distribute the ball, and stretch defenses with shooting. Those players become incredibly valuable in international play, where spacing and ball movement are critical. Clark checks every one of those boxes. So whether she keeps number 12 permanently or eventually switches to another jersey, the bigger story is that Team USA clearly sees her as a major piece of the future. And honestly, it makes sense. She's one of the most exciting players in the game right now. She brings massive fan attention to women's basketball, and her skill set translates perfectly to the international stage. But I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think Caitlyn Clark wearing number 12 is just a temporary media day thing? Or could this actually be the start of her carrying on the legacy of that number for USA basketball?
Score, but at one point, is this where we talk about her being our child?
Oh,
All right, I'm going to let you deal with it. You're the mom.
this is our
you deal with this
firstborn,
one.
Caitlyn Clark. As you can see, she has the passing ability of Shoshana Bird. She has the pull-up. She has long distance range, like middle linebacker Taurasi. And she has the swaggy competitiveness of both of us. This is our love child born in the internet era.
They need to do that like face mesh thing. And they put the faces over it.
I mean, she must be really good. She's two of us.
Yeah.
Boy, we must have sucked.
There's something really interesting about the way the conversation around Caitlyn Clark has evolved over the past year. And honestly, it's kind of wild when you think about it. For a long time, everything surrounding Clark was almost entirely positive. Fans loved her, media outlets loved her highlights, and people were fascinated by the way she was dominating college basketball. She was putting up ridiculous numbers, hitting those deep threes and leading her team in ways that you just don't normally see from a college guard. But the moment that really changed the tone for a lot of people was when she beat South Carolina Gamecocks women's basketball in that huge tournament matchup. That was the game where a lot of players and analysts suddenly realized something important. Caitlyn Clark wasn't just a fun college star. She was legitimately operating at a level that could compete with elite players right now. And that's when the conversation started to shift. You started hearing more players talk about her directly. Some people tried to downplay it, saying she wasn't better than certain pros yet. But here's the thing. When professional players feel the need to publicly defend themselves against a college player, that alone tells you how real the threat is. Because normally, WNBA veterans aren't spending time responding to college athletes. But with Clark, you had players mentioning her before she even entered the league. That's when you know someone's impact is serious. And now, we're seeing another interesting moment with Team USA. Clark recently showed up wearing number 12, the same number that's long been associated with Diana Taurasi in international basketball. That's a big deal. Taurasi isn't just another player in USA basketball history. She's widely viewed as one of the greatest to ever play the game, especially when it comes to international competition. So when a young player steps in wearing that number, it naturally grabs attention. But what's interesting is the confidence it shows from Clark. A lot of young players would actually avoid taking a legendary player's number. Think about it. If you're coming into a program where someone's number carries that much legacy, you might want to choose something different. You might want to avoid the pressure or the comparisons that come with it. But Clark didn't shy away from it. Instead, she basically stepped into that moment and said, "All right, someone has to wear the number. I'll take it." And that tells you something about her mentality. She's never really been someone who backs down from expectations or pressure. Now, to be fair, jersey numbers in USA basketball don't always mean they're permanent. The team usually works within a specific number range, typically numbers 4 through 15, which means there aren't unlimited choices. Players can't just pick something like 22 or 30 the way they might in other leagues. So eventually, someone has to wear each number. Still, seeing Clark in that number right now feels symbolic. It feels like the beginning of a new era where one generation of stars is slowly passing the torch to the next. And whether that number sticks or not, the bigger picture is clear. Caitlyn Clark is becoming a central figure in the future of USA basketball. But that's just my take on it. Let me know what you guys think about Caitlyn Clark wearing number 12. Do you think it means something bigger, or is it just a temporary media day detail? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates right here on TFD.